How's everyone? Gunnar White, offensive line coach. I'm excited for the opportunity and I'm ready to get to work.
Colorado football offensive line. Gunnar White, rising star or risky move? Welcome back, Colorado football fans. Big news coming out of Boulder as Coach Prime has officially named Gunnar White as the new offensive line coach for Colorado football. Ever since the unexpected departure of Phil Loadholt to Mississippi State, there's been a lot of speculation about who would step into this crucial role. Well, the wait is over, and the decision might just surprise you.
This is Plumber football. Give it everything.
Shoring up the offensive line is one of the most important tasks facing Coach Prime this season. After all, it's arguably the group that needs the most improvement. With some big names in the running for the job, including former Dallas Cowboy Andre Jurod and former Buff Matt McChesney, many thought we might see an NFL vet in the position. But instead, Coach Prime has chosen Gunnar White, who has been promoted from his role as an offensive analyst here at Colorado. While it's an unexpected move, it shows just how much faith Coach Prime has in White, especially considering he's been with him since their time together at Jackson State University. The initial fan reaction to Coach Prime's hiring of Gunnar White has been mostly skeptical, but only time will reveal whether this was the right decision. Let's take a look at what some fans across the web are saying about the move. Rubber Band Man wrote, "Yay, we cooked." Sean Cordova said, "That's the best you can do." And Scipio Americanus added, "I hope he'll be as good as I think McChesney would be." In this video, we'll take a quick look at the current state of Colorado's offensive line and dive into who Gunnar White is and what he can bring to the table. Be sure to stick around till the end as we break down some of the pros and cons of this latest hire by Coach Prime. Let's get into it. Now let's dive into the current state of Colorado football's offensive line, which is definitely a major area that needs attention. To put it bluntly, significant changes are needed, and for those changes to happen, it's going to take some strong leadership and discipline.
Look at me, man. Do I look like I subscribe to pressure, or do I look like I apply it? We apply pressure. We don't subscribe to it.
In 2023, the Buffaloes allowed a staggering 56 sacks, ranking a dismal 132nd out of 133 teams in college football. That's a tough stat to swallow. While we saw some improvement in 2024 with the revamped offensive line under Phil Loadholt, it still wasn't nearly enough to meet the expectations that Coach Prime and Colorado fans have. They gave up 43 sacks and ranked 124th out of 133 teams. And let's not forget all those Houdini moments from Shitter Sanders, scrambling to avoid pressure. If that doesn't tell you there's a problem, we don't know what does. But it wasn't just the passing game. The run game finished dead last in all of college football, with only 65 rushing yards per game. Now, part of this was due to the offensive scheme, where Colorado became one-dimensional, often opting to pass, which allowed defenses to pin their ears back and rush without concern for the run game. Still, in those crucial short-yardage situations where the offensive line needed to impose its will, they came up short far too often.
4th and 2. Long mesh point. Hayden is clotheslined.
So, what does all this mean for Gunnar White? Well, he's got his work cut out for him. Whether it's pass blocking or run blocking, there's a lot of room for improvement. The offensive line is going to need serious development if Colorado wants to take the next step toward becoming a true Big 12 contender and playoff team. The 2024 season showed that the Buffaloes can still find success despite these struggles, but with the loss of 2 top 5 NFL draft picks and some key veteran wide receivers, Colorado will need to become a more balanced offensive team. That balance should not only help ease the burden on the offensive line, but also improve their performance, both in terms of morale and, hopefully, on the stat sheet. The road ahead is tough, but the potential is there. Now let's take a closer look at the man behind the new offensive line hire, Gunnar White. Who is this guy, and why is Coach Prime so confident in him? Well, White hails from Terry, Mississippi, and while he might not have been a star player in college, his journey to this point is an interesting one. He started his playing career at Hinges Community College, where he spent 2 seasons as an offensive lineman before transferring to Texas Tech. While we don't have any statistics to highlight from his time at Texas Tech, it's worth noting that some of the greatest coaches in football, like Nick Saban, Bill Belichick, and Barry Switzer, came from modest playing careers. They learned the game in ways that made them exceptional coaches, and White's path could very well follow that same trajectory. Now, White's coaching career began at Jackson State University in 2014, where he worked as a student assistant coach for 2 seasons. From there, he took on his first major role at Belhaven University in 2017, coaching their offensive line. This was a huge opportunity for White, as Belhaven competes at the NCAA Division III level, but his success there quickly helped him move up the ranks. By 2018, White found himself at the University of Nevada, working as an offensive graduate assistant. Though it wasn't an offensive line coach position, it gave him valuable experience within Division I football. In 2021, White returned to Jackson State to work alongside Coach Prime once again, this time as an offensive analyst. His 2 seasons at JSU were instrumental in refining his coaching craft, and that's when he got the chance to further his career. Not only did he earn his bachelor's degree in health, physical education, and recreation while at JSU, but he also developed a strong personal connection, marrying Shelby Hardy, a Jackson, Mississippi native. Before making his way to Colorado, White had a brief stint with the Spring League, a developmental league where he served as the offensive line coach. This experience only added to his resume before making the jump to Boulder with Coach Prime. Since joining Colorado in 2023, White has worked as an offensive analyst for 2 seasons, and now, with the promotion to offensive line coach, he's ready to take on a whole new challenge. Gunnar White may not have the flashy playing career that some of the other coaching candidates had, but his dedication, experience, and familiarity with Coach Prime's system are the qualities that have earned him this shot. Now, with Colorado football under the spotlight, White's work as offensive line coach could be the key to turning the Buffalo's offensive struggles around. All right, now that we've talked a bit about who Gunnar White is, let's get into the pros and cons of this hire, because let's be honest, this decision has sparked a lot of skepticism in the Coach Prime era. So, let's start with the cons first, so we can end on a more positive note. Now, while Gunnar White has been involved in player development since 2014, much of his experience has been as an offensive analyst. He did have some time as an offensive line coach at Belhaven University, a Division III school, but let's be real here. Coaching at a program that finished 2-8 is a far cry from managing Colorado's offensive line. The pressure, the stakes, the talent, it's on a whole different level. White also had a brief stint with the Spring League, a semi-pro league where he coached the offensive line. But when we talk about high-pressure situations with national expectations, this is a huge step up. One of the things we've come to expect from Coach Prime's hires is NFL experience, whether it's coaching or playing. And with those NFL ties comes the ability to bring in blue-chip recruits. While White has been with Coach Prime through the Jackson State and Colorado transitions, it's fair to question if he has the same ability to attract elite talent, especially at a position like offensive line, where physicality and toughness are key. Can he reel in some of those top-tier blue-chip linemen that Colorado needs? That's something to keep an eye on. Let's be honest, Colorado's offensive line has struggled with both sacks allowed and a lackluster run game. For this line to turn things around, they need to be more physical, mean, and downright nasty. But here's the thing, White's public persona doesn't scream grit or toughness. Now, Matt McChesney, a former Buffalo, for example, has the personality of a guy who could lead a physically dominant offensive line. So, the question remains, does White have that mean streak needed to instill the toughness and physicality that Colorado's offensive line needs? Now let's flip the script and talk about the pros of this promotion, because there are some solid reasons why Coach Prime believes in Gunnar White. White is still young, around 30 years old, and while some might see that as a downside, I think it could actually be a huge benefit for Colorado. This is Coach Prime's 3rd offensive line coach in 3 years, and stability is key for building cohesiveness within the unit. With White being relatively young, it's likely that he'll stick around for a few years, giving the offensive line and the staff the kind of consistency they need. There's a lot of skepticism about this hire, but let's give Coach Prime some credit. Just like how he turned the Colorado program around with the use of the transfer portal, Coach Prime has a way of identifying rising stars. Maybe White isn't on everyone's radar yet, but Coach Prime clearly believes in him. So, looking at this from a bigger picture, White could very well become one of the next big names in coaching, just like how Coach Prime saw potential in Robert Livingston. White's promotion from within is a win for the entire Colorado staff. When you see someone rise from the background to a major coaching role, it sends a message that hard work and dedication won't go unnoticed. This could fuel the entire staff to put in their best effort every single day, knowing that there are opportunities to grow within Coach Prime's system. Finally, one of the biggest pros of this hire is that Gunnar White is fully committed. He's been with Coach Prime since their time at Jackson State, and he understands the vision and the goals. Coach Prime has shown loyalty to White by bringing him along for the ride from JSU to Colorado, and now he's giving White the chance to make a real impact. You can bet that White is all in. He knows what's at stake and will give it everything he's got to help turn the Buffaloes into a contender. So, there you have it. The pros and cons of the Gunnar White hire. It's a bit of a risk, but it also comes with a lot of potential. It's clear that Coach Prime believes in White, and now we'll all be watching closely to see how this move pans out for Colorado football. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more updates on Colorado football. So until next time, as always, give it everything.